Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. Chicago Fire spoilers: when does Sam Carver return? Recent Chicago Fire episodes have been without firefighter Sam Carver. The troubled character reached a breaking point as he tried to deal with a drinking problem. Carver had been attending meetings and was still dealing with emotions for paramedic Violet McCamey. The couple had a rough breakup last season, and Carver left Firehouse 51. He returned with a girlfriend from Texas. Carver continued to spiral this season, revealing that if he didn't stay busy, he wanted to drink. He approached Lieutenant Stella Kidd about his problems and requested time off. He also assured her he had never had a drink while on shift. Kidd helped get Carver into rehab, and she later broke the news to Violet, who has missed Carver every minute of his absence. When does Jake Lockett return to the Chicago Fire cast? As previously reported by Monsters and Critics, actor Jake Lockett, Sam Carver, was doing press for the hit NBC show. This pointed toward a return later in the current season. Now we have a concrete answer for Chicago Fire fans. Jake Lockett returns as Sam Carver for Chicago Fire Season 13, Episode 18. A dramatic new episode features the return of Eamon Walker as Wallace Bowden. Walker played Chief Bowden for the first 12 years of the show, but the character got promoted within the Chicago Fire Department. Bowden returns for the upcoming episode that also features Carver. Below is an image of the dramatic new episode. We can see Carver carrying a ladder to help on a call. Details on Chicago Fire Season 13, Episode 18. Deputy Commissioner Bowden returns to Firehouse 51 to investigate a disastrous firefight and the surrounding mystery that left one of their own in peril. Reads the full synopsis for the new Chicago Fire episode. Below is a TV promo NBC has been running for the April 16 episode. It's called Post-Mortem, and fans should prepare for an intense night. We will also see a lot from Carver as he finally returns. More news from the One Chicago shows. Chicago PD Season 12 has wrapped. The hit drama has filmed its intriguing season finale and is ready for a big wedding. Details about the Chicago Med season finale were released. The showrunner teased fans with shocking news about what will happen during the final Season 10 episode. Each show has 5 new episodes left on the calendar for this spring. Previous episodes of Chicago Fire are streaming on Peacock. The spring wind whipped through the windy city like it had a secret to tell, and in the Firehouse of 51, whispers traveled faster than flames. Captain Stella Kidd stood by the engine, flipping through a training manual but barely reading a word. Her eyes kept flicking toward the doors, and she wasn't the only one watching. Behind her, Gallo and Violet exchanged nervous glances, while Severide adjusted his gloves like he was itching for a distraction. Then the engine bay doors groaned open with that familiar rumble, and in stepped Sam Carver. Hair a little longer, jaw a little more clenched, but the walk, still as cocky and confident as ever. "Miss me?" he smirked, tossing his duffel on the bench like he hadn't vanished after the call that left a scar on both his body and his pride. "Carver," Kidd breathed, stunned. "You're early." "Couldn't stay away," he said, meeting her gaze. "Besides, sounds like you need someone who's not afraid to run into burning chaos." But behind the playful confidence was something else, a shadow. Something in his eyes said he didn't just come back for the job, he came back to prove something. Why did he leave? Let's rewind. Carver left in the mid-season finale after the notorious warehouse explosion that nearly claimed his life, and more importantly left a rookie firefighter hospitalized. The guilt ate at him, especially after Kidd took heat for defending him during the internal review. Carver, known for his impulsive decisions and stormy past, took the fall hard. He told himself a break was temporary, some time away to train with a high-risk urban rescue unit in Detroit. But months passed, and so did the rumors. Some said he'd quit firefighting altogether. Others swore they spotted him in Colorado, climbing mountains instead of ladders. But no one expected him to walk back into 51 like it was just another Monday. The tension builds. The station didn't welcome him back with open arms. Ritter stayed cool but polite. Cruz couldn't hide his skepticism. And Violet? She didn't say much at all. "Thought you were done," she said later, leaning on the squad truck as they both watched the sun set over the city. "I was," Carver admitted, "until I realized I wasn't." he explained, in a rare moment of vulnerability that Detroit shook him up, not because of the danger, but because of what he missed. The sense of purpose. The people, the firehouse family. You never really know how much this job gets under your skin until you try to walk away, he told her. Violet just nodded. Well, don't screw it up this time. A new rivalry? But Carver's return wasn't just about redemption. A new transfer, firefighter Malik Torres, had made waves while Carver was gone. Young, sharp, and a little too eager to prove himself, Malik saw Carver as outdated, the reckless type who caused more problems than he solved. Their tension crackled during their first joint call, a car crash turned chemical spill, when Carver made a gutsy call to pull a trapped victim before hazmat arrived. Malik didn't hold back later. You play hero, but what happens when someone else pays the price? Carver didn't respond, not then, but his silence said plenty. The tension between the two quickly became the talk of the firehouse, and Kid, she was stuck in the middle, watching two fierce personalities clash like flint and steel. An unexpected ally. Strangely, it was Severide who pulled Carver aside one night after a long shift. Remind you of anyone? He asked with a raised brow, nodding toward Malik. Carver smirked. Yeah. A younger, cockier version of me. Severide didn't smile back. Exactly, and you're not that guy anymore, so don't fight him. Teach him. That stuck with Carver. More than he expected. Romantic sparks, reignited. Fans who watched sparks fly between Carver and Kid before his departure weren't imagining it. And now, with her husband Severide spending more time on out-of-state arson investigations, those feelings are inching back to the surface. In a quiet moment on the roof after a particularly rough shift, Carver opened up. You ever feel like the job changes you, and then you have to figure out who you are all over again? Kid nodded. Every single day. Their fingers brushed, briefly, accidentally, but the moment hung in the air like smoke. Nothing happened. Not yet, but the tension? It was there. And Severide? He noticed. He always does. The final scene. A teaser for what's to come. In the final minutes of the episode, Firehouse 51 responds to a high-rise fire, the kind that brings the whole city to a standstill. Carver leads a team up the 22nd floor, battling smoke, heat, and panic. He finds a mother and daughter trapped behind a collapsed beam. He calls for backup, but help is minutes away. He doesn't wait. Using training from his time in Detroit, Carver rigs a makeshift pulley, bracing the beam with his own body as he lifts the child to safety. The mom follows, barely escaping before the ceiling begins to collapse. Carver jumps just in time. Later, bruised and breathless, he limps out of the building to a round of cheers. Even Malik nods, grudgingly impressed. Kid runs up to him, a fire blanket in her hands, and wraps it around his shoulders. You're insane, she whispers. Maybe, he says, his smile tired but real. But I'm back. And just like that, Sam Carver is once again part of Firehouse 51, older, wiser, but still just as combustible as ever.